The first day, it's all about being playful and learning how to really express yourself and be open. And the class really offers, the chance to have a community.
I think it's a really special thing to have a class where everyone interacts and people and you feel kind of that sense of community, which at a huge university like this, sometimes you don't always feel that connection.
This class is not just a dance class. It's about learning how to be a human being. It's not just a dance. You can't just be alone in a mirror and practicing African dance. It is a holistic process. It's a process. It's not a dance.
When a student chooses to register for African dance, I like the student to understand that by choosing to register for African dance, you're entering an area of diplomatic immunity. In other words, you're entering into a different culture. Many in the western part of the world are very inundated with negative images of Africa. The conversation automatically shifts to these issues. But I believe there is a lot of positive things about Africa that need to be on the table as well. In other words, I'm seeking to bring balance. African dance, which incorporates music, dramatic expression, poetry, storytelling, and all. African dance is traditionally an act of social engagement. So folks in Africa may dance together because they believe in the same deity, they worship together. Or they may dance because they belong to the same family. Folks may share dance because they belong to the same royal court. There are dances that are specific in various African communities. Coming here from Ghana and teaching in an American university, the question I ask myself is, how may I make a difference? How may I bridge the gap? How do I teach African dance in a way that expands the cultural horizons of the students? Because ultimately, students are going to become the future leaders. They're going to make policies, they're going to make decisions, they're going to travel, they're going to serve, they're going to interact with people from Africa. How does an education in African dance enhance this cross-cultural interaction for students?
Well, I first heard about this class actually freshman year. They had taken the class and were just instantly by it. They loved it. Every time I saw them, they could not stop talking about it. And I was like, what is this course? This is amazing. I have to take this class.
Every theater major has to take a dance credit, so a bunch of my friends took African dance, and they were telling me all the cool things about it, how much they loved it, how much they want to take it again and everything. And so I was like, well, I need to take the class.
I took a jazz dance class, but the African dance was right beforehand, and we saw everyone coming out like, man, those guys are having so much more fun than we're about to have.
Most of the students come primarily because they want to try something different. But the majority of them take African dance because they've heard stories about my classes, or they have attended some of the African events that we have on campus, the African dance celebrations. And anyone who comes to the African dance celebration gets excited about taking the course because what they experience is the fruits of the hard work. But what students don't know is that the making of the fruits require gardening, require digging, requires self-investment.
I wasn't nervous until I got there because I didn't know what it was going to be like. So I was kind of just like, this is going to be like any other class, I can do this. And then I got there and I was like, whoa, this is not like any other class and I don't know if I can do this.
I thought that we would like, he would stand in front of us and show us how to do something and then we would like do it. But instead it's like, we're all involved in the process.
This class is very different than anything that like we have at CU really.
I was like super nervous, and especially when we like couldn't stand by our friends, I was terrified.
I thought that we'd be dancing more, but the first day was really him just getting us as a whole group to like relax a little bit around each other.
It was a lot of fun. You go around and you meet everyone on the first day. You have to say hello to everyone.
They have to know everybody in the class. They have to say hi to everybody, including the drummers, the teachers. The students are required to behave as though they were in an African community or neighborhood. And for most students, this is very jarring. The first thing I tell them, I introduce them to, is this concept of a community. Is this concept of, by entering the door of this classroom, you have to understand that you've made a journey into Africa, into Ghana. So a lot of the students come into the class realizing that, they're biting more than they can chew.
I was really excited the first time I took this class, but I was definitely really timid. And I was kind of afraid of that jumping, that leap of faith almost. So it took me a while to warm up to.
Definitely the first day of class, I think I was shy about my body movements and thinking like, oh gosh, am I doing this right? Like now we clap, now we jump, is this right? Is everyone doing this? But then of course the whole energy of the classroom is so helpful in letting you just get past that. You know, it's like 5 minutes of and then you're like, oh my god, why did I waste those 5 minutes? You know, I'm in the zone now and it's wonderful.
From taking the class 3 times, I'm really starting to get the fundamentals of African dance really in my body, like the sitting down and the bouncing and the rippling and knowing how to walk and all of those really fundamental principles that you spend like the first month talking about.
I expect students to practice on their own. I expect students to share their struggles with each other. And at the end of the day, the teaching is not about me teaching everything, but the learning being a community experience. You have to learn to fake it too.
If the words are not coming, put passion in it. It helps free you up.
I consider the whole class as a village. And as in every village, there will be families.
Our family is, we call ourselves Sukuma, which is a tribe in Tanzania.
Waku is the name of our group, and it means family.
When I put students into groups and expect them to work together within class and outside of class to come up with some dance, choreography, or routines, I challenge them to learn to work with each other, to live with each other. I ask them to be invested in each other's welfare and to depend on each other for help.
Because at first, you know, you're kind of like, who are these people? Like, what are they like? Are they like, what are they like really in this class for? But then, like, as we get to know each other, it's becoming like a lot of fun. It's like really fun.
excited about doing it, about like presenting something beautiful and presenting something that's worthwhile.
It's a lot of not only putting your time into the moves and the dance steps and the drum calls, but also working with your family and your village and those that are closest to you and perfecting the stuff that you have and working on with them.
We spent, one of our practices, we spent probably the first, I would say, half an hour to 45 minutes just getting to know one another and learning about each other, which was, I don't know, really fun. And then it makes it way more comfortable when you're trying to dance with each other, listen to one another's suggestions. If you actually know the other person, you're more willing to hear their suggestions, try out what they want to do.
Now, for the most part, the groups do well, but ever so often there are challenges arise.
I honestly don't think there's been a single rehearsal that every one of us has been there. So that's been a little difficult.
When I first got my group, I didn't know if we'd be able to work as well as we are. I think sometimes it's hard, like communication-wise, you know. Sometimes we're like, where is this person? Like, why hasn't this person? Like, why have we all been meeting together, but this person is like never here?
When you are within a family where some members do not participate fully in the family, it creates all sorts of dramas, anxiety, resentment, and these things happen within the smaller groups that we create in the dance class.
We're different. We're very different from each other. We come from all sorts of backgrounds. There's been times where, with really big groups, it gets difficult sometimes when a lot of people are really excited and they have a lot of really cool ideas at the same time, and people don't respect each other enough to listen to each other's ideas. Probably the transitions are the hardest part for us, and just like not making the dance awkward, because we don't really know like what moves do work best with what transitions and so on.
Nobody in our group has ever taken this class before, and so it's kind of cool to go in to see all the other groups perform and to be like, oh, that's a really cool idea, let's take that and, you know, incorporate it into our one as well.
I know this is not usually easy, but I do it because students go through the whole cycle of group dynamics, you know, going through the honeymoon, through the crisis, and by the end, most groups come together beautifully and they feel proud of their journey.
So I've been to a bunch of the midterms before, and I think this was the first final I've even been to.
The biggest wow factor for me was at the final. Guests came there thinking they were just gonna watch us dance and stuff like that. And everybody got on their feet, started participating during the first warm-up.
It was just like a solidification of everything that we've been working towards.
I was so in shock about how many people came and just how quickly like people got involved with what we were doing.
My favorite part about it was seeing the range of people that came. You know, we had kids from Montessori school, a guy in a walker. There was this one woman on the floor doing something, I don't know, by herself, like with her back.
Like, it wasn't even a final. I thought it was gonna be like, you know, final. But it just turned into a party, and it was awesome.
I mean, I love to dance, and I feel like I have pretty good energy when I'm doing it, but nothing can beat like that night at the final.
It has all the elements of call and response, polyrhythm, the circle, the audience participation, members of the audience showing appreciation by putting money on the forehead of drummers, gratitude to the Supreme Being, respect for Mother Earth, all those present in a performance. Now, anyone who experiences such a performance is at once being entertained, being stimulated, inspired, but also learning. It becomes also an educational environment.
Not just the dance, but what he's teaching them to, you know, don't be afraid, be yourself. Kids need to hear that.
My daughter's in this class, and she's been telling me that she's doing African dance. I thought it was amazing. It was like her heart was open, and she was giving it to all of us.
I've watched documentaries of African villages. I haven't been to Africa yet, but you felt like you were in an African village, and that was amazing.
It's a surreal kind of final. It's really cool. All the food was really good. It was like all of my friends who came were like astounded with our work, and like one of my friends was telling me he loved how people came out of their shells, like with the solos.
And even if you don't want to dance at first, by the end you're gonna be the happiest person you've been in a long time.
Because it wasn't just dance moves, it was a culture, it was a lifestyle that he was trying to embed in us.
It had a huge impact on me. It changed the way I think about dance and how I actually dance now. Like I don't even care what people think about me. I just sort of go, bust out, do my own thing, and it's so much more fun that way.
You know, some days we were frustrated with each other, but at the end of the day, and at the festival, we all realized that we had done something, we had created something so awesome together. And it didn't matter if it was perfect. It didn't matter. It mattered that we had this experience together.
Although I have danced ballet, tap, jazz, clogging, I have never ever seen anything so wondrous as this. Yeah!